Magic Circle of Light, Part 5C. Whenever you admire the blooms on a rose bush, remember you are standing before living creatures descended from the planet Venus. You may ask how roses could possibly originate from Venus, given that conditions on that planet are not hospitable to life. That's true, but for initiatic science, the planets are not just the physical material bodies studied by astronomy. For initiatic science, the planets are passageways. They are intermediaries between cosmic currents and the Earth. Through the intermediary of the planets, the Earth receives currents and influences of which God is the distant source. That is why, since time immemorial, initiates have associated the planets with qualities and virtues. The moon to purity, Mercury to intelligence, Jupiter to generosity, etc. So the planets serve as reservoirs of currents that travel through space and, according to their nature, become condensed on Earth in such and such receptacle. Roses are receptacles for currents from Venus, the currents of love. If we know how to approach them, we will receive some of this love. Philosopher's Stone, the symbol of sublimation, of transformation. Alchemists say that to obtain the Philosopher's Stone, the work must begin when the sun enters the constellation of Aries and the moon enters that of Taurus. Because the sun is exalted in Aries and the moon is exalted in Taurus. Gemini, the sign that follows, is ruled by Mercury. The sun and the moon unite to give birth to a child, Mercury. The symbol of Mercury is formed by the disk of the sun and the crescent moon, with a plus sign, the sign for addition, to symbolize their union. The symbol for Mercury is thus the union of the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon give birth to the child Mercury, the Philosopher's Stone. But the Philosopher's Stone that the alchemist sought was, in reality, a symbol of sublimation, of the transformation of man who becomes luminous, immortal, and free. The alchemist worked with the sun and the moon, that is to say, with the principles of will and imagination, and thanks to this work with these two principles, they were able to transform themselves and become like the sun and the moon, radiant and pure. For millions of years, human beings have worked to accumulate the elements with which they have been able to form their physical, astral, mental, causal, buddhic, and atmic bodies. Thanks to these different bodies, humans are connected to all regions in the universe, from the most luminous to the darkest, and which are projected on the screen of their consciousness, much like the screen in a cinema. On this screen, images are successively projected expressing something of their lower, obscure, and selfish nature, the physical, astral, and mental bodies, or of their higher, luminous, and disinterested nature, the causal, buddhic, and atmic bodies. A person who is lucid can sometimes see that by their thoughts, wishes, or desires, they have stirred up a swamp, and if they succeed in touching heaven, splendors appear before them, and they learn. Thus, they become conscious, as they say, of the reality of the worlds they inhabit.